King Arthur's Knights, Chapter 5, Part 4. I pray ye, Sir Tristram, of your ancient love for me, to come to my aid and fight for me as my champion in this most cruel charge. But if ye will not, if ye choose to remember rather that I thrust you from my court and would not protect you against those that meant you ill, then forgive my request, and leave me to my fate and my dishonor. The heart of Sir Tristram lifted within him for love of the good old king, and turning, he said, For what day is the trial by combat which your master speaketh of? For midday on the day before next Sabbath, said the knight. Go ye at once to your master, said Sir Tristram, and say to him that I will not fail him, but will make all speed. Sir, I thank you from my heart, said the knight, and bowed. Then wheeling his horse, he dashed swiftly away. At Camelot, on the day and hour appointed, the lists were set, and knights and nobles and the common people waited to see the trial by battle which should prove the innocence or guilt of King Anguish. King Arthur was not at Camelot, nor was Sir Launcelot, for both were at Joyous Gard, the castle of Sir Launcelot, which King Arthur had given to him by the sea in the northern marshes. In their places, King Cador of Cornwall and King Uriens of Reged were judges at the trial. Ere noon was marked by the gnomon of the dial set up before the judges. Sir Tristram and his squire, Governale, rode up the lists, and were met by King Anguish and his knights. When Sir Tristram saw the King of Ireland, he got swiftly from his horse and ran toward him, and would have held his stirrup. But the king leapt lightly from his horse, and with bright looks each embraced and kissed the other. My good lord, cried Tristram, gramercy your goodness which ye showed me in your marshes, and of your nobleness in calling me unto your aid. For it is great honour to me that ye ask this, and I will do all for you to the utmost of my strength. Oh, worshipful knight, said the king, ye are courteous and noble beyond all others to come to my aid when I am in such dire need. Who is he that is appointed to fight with you, or your champion? Asked Sir Tristram. He is of Sir Launcelot's blood, replied the king, and I wot that he will be hard to overcome, for all those of King Ban's kin are passing good fighters beyond all others. It is Sir Balmor de Ganys, a great warrior. Sir, said Sir Tristram, for the great goodness that ye showed me in Ireland, and for your daughter's sake, La Bella Isoda, I will take the battle in hand for you. But ye must first swear that ye never caused or consented to the death of the knight of which you are charged, and if I avail in your battle, I will crave a boon of you, which you shall grant me. I swear to heaven, replied the king, that I did neither cause nor consent to the death of the knight. And as to the boon that ye shall ask, I grant it you already. Then King Anguish departed to the judges and cried unto them the name of his champion, and all the knights of the Round Table that were there, and the common people, were all agog to see Sir Tristram. The fame of his fight with Sir Maurice, and his renown as a harpist and a lover of hunting, were well known unto all. But never yet had he come to the court of King Arthur. Sir Balmor and Sir Tristram went to each end of the lists and dressed their harness and their shields. Sir Bellibaris, that was brother to Sir Balmor, went to him and said, Brother, now remember of what kin ye be, and what manner of man is our lord, Sir Launcelot, and see that ye suffer not shame. For never would Sir Launcelot bear it, and he would sooner suffer death. Have no doubt of me, said Sir Blamor. I shall never shame Sir Launcelot, nor any of our high blood. Nevertheless, this Sir Tristram is a passing good fighter, and if by ill hap he strike me down, then he shall slay me, and so end my shame. God speed ye well, said Sir Bleoberis, but he may not be so great a warrior as fame saith, for fame grows false as she grows further. When the knights were ready, the herald of the court of Arthur stood with his trumpet and recited the cause of the quarrel and the names of the knights about to do battle. Then lifting his tabard, he bade both knights make ready. And when his tabard fell to the ground, the knights lowered their lances in the rests, and set spurs to their horses, and thundered down the lists. With a clang and a clash, they met midway, and then men marveled as they saw how suddenly Sir Blamore's horse reared in mid-career, turned right around, and upsetting its rider over its back, fell to the ground. Sir Blamore, however, was unhurt, and quickly rising to his feet, he drew out his sword, crying to Sir Tristram, as that knight turned his horse and came toward him, "Alight thee, Sir Tristram, for though this mare's son of mine hath failed me, I trust my good sword shall not fail me." With that, Sir Tristram alighted and dressed him to battle, and there they lashed at each other with mighty strokes on both sides, cutting and hacking, feinting and guarding, so that as time went on, and still they fought fiercely, the kings and knights marveled that they were so great-winded and strong. Soon men saw that Sir Blamore was headstrong and mad with rage, while Sir Tristram beat not so many false blows, but each was sure, though slower. Yet Sir Blamore would not rest, but like a wild man would ever dash against his enemy. Where they fought, the trampled sand was stained with red from their wounds. Suddenly men saw Sir Blamore make a heavy stroke, which Sir Tristram avoided, and ere the other could recover, Sir Tristram's sword descended on his helm with so great a stroke that Sir Blamore fell upon his side. Sir Tristram leaped upon him and placed the point of his sword between the bars of Sir Blamore's visor, bidding him yield. When Sir Blamore got his breath, he panted forth, "Nay, nay, Sir Tristram, I will not say the word, but I require thee, Sir Tristram de Liones, as thou art a noble knight and the mightiest that ever I fought, that thou wilt slay me out of hand. For now I would not live to be made lord of these lands of Britain. Liefer I would die than live a life of shame, and therefore slay me, slay me." Sir Tristram started back, remembering of what noble blood was this brave knight. Knowing that he must either make Sir Blamore say the loath words, "I yield," or else slay him, he went to where the judges sat, and kneeled before them and told them what Sir Blamore had said. "Fair lords," Sir Tristram ended, "it were shame and pity that this noble knight should be slain, for ye will hear that he will not say the words of shame. And if King Anguish, whose true knight and champion I am, will suffer me, I will neither shame nor slay so stout-hearted a knight." "By heaven," said King Anguish, "I will be ruled for your sake, Sir Tristram, as ye are the most knight of prowess that ever I saw in my long life. Therefore I pray these kings and judges that they take the matter into their own hands." The judges called Sir Bleobaris to them and required his counsel. "My lords," he said, "though that my brother be beaten a body by this valiant knight, he hath not beaten his heart, and so I thank God he hath not been shamed in this fight. And rather than be shamed," said Sir Bleobaris, white and stern, "I require that you command Sir Tristram to slay him out of hand." "That shall not be," said the judges, "for neither King Anguish nor Sir Tristram desire to shame your valiant brother." "We do not," said both the king and Sir Tristram. Therefore, by the advice of the judges, Sir Tristram and Sir Bleobaris took up Sir Blamore, and the two brothers made peace with King Anguish, and kissed each other, and swore friendship with him forever. Then Sir Blamore and Sir Tristram kissed, and the two brothers, their hands clasping those of Sir Tristram, swore that there should forever be peace and love between them. And thus did Sir Tristram swear also. Inasmuch as of this nobleness and generosity Sir Tristram would take Sir Blamore's life because he refused to yield him, Sir Launcelot and all his kinsmen loved Sir Tristram, and were ever his friends, and spoke well and knightly of him. Then King Anguish and Sir Tristram took their leave, and sailed into Ireland with great joy. And when they had arrived there, the king let make a great cry throughout his dominions of the manner in which Sir Tristram had fought for him, and how for that deed he accounted him the noblest knight among his friends, and that all should treat him with friendship and no deceit. When also the queen and the kin of Sir Marhaus heard how Sir Tristram had borne himself in the trial by combat, they agreed that now they should not seek to slay him, since his great help in this matter had wiped out his ill doing in the slaying of Sir Marhaus. So the queen and the knights of the court and the common people made much of Sir Tristram wheresoever he went. But the joy that La Bella Isoda had in her heart no tongue may tell. When Sir Tristram was led to her, and they met after so long an absence from each other, men saw the lovely face light up with so sweet and high a look that they marveled at her beauty. Yet they saw how straitly Sir Tristram held himself, and made not much of his meeting with her, and did not seek her company. Then on a day King Anguish asked Sir Tristram what was the boon he craved. "But whatever it be," said the king, "it is yours without fail." Sir Tristram's face went hard and white, and after a little while he said, "It is this, my lord. I bear a request from my uncle, King Mark, and it is that you give him your daughter La Belle Isoda for his wife, and you let me take her unto him, for so I have promised him." "Alas," said the king, and looked full heavily into the eyes of Sir Tristram, "I had liefer than all the lands that I have, that ye should wed her yourself." Sir Tristram turned away and made this reply: "I have given my promise, and I were ashamed for ever in the world if I did aught else. I require you to hold to your promise, and to let your daughter depart with me to be wedded to my uncle King Mark." "As I have promised, so will I do," said the king, "but I let you know 'tis with a heavy heart." Nor would the king say more, knowing that he might make bad worse. But the surprise and grief of La Belle Isoda when she knew that Sir Tristram was to take her to be wife not unto himself, but to a stranger, what tongue may tell and what words may say? Nightly on the days when she was being prepared to depart, she wept full sorely in the arms of her mother, or of Bragwaine, her faithful gentlewoman. But in hall or abroad she was ever calm and cold, though pale. The queen, her mother, feared much of this marriage, and so sent a swift message to a great witch who dwelled in a dark, wet valley in the midst of the purple hills. And for much gold, a potent philtre was prepared. Then on the day when, with much weeping and many sad farewells, La Belle Isoda, with her gentlewoman and many noble ladies and knights, were to go into the ship, the queen called Bragwaine aside, and giving her a little golden flask, said to her, "Take this with thee, Bragwaine, for I misdoubt this marriage overmuch, and I charge thee do this. On the day that King Mark shall wed my daughter, do thou mix this drink in their wine in equal parts, and then I undertake that each shall love the other alone all the days of their lives." Anon, Sir Tristram and La Belle Isoda took ship and got to sea. During the voyage, Sir Tristram kept himself much with the other knights, and rarely sat with Isoda, for in his heart was much grief, and he hated the fair wind that drove the ship more quickly to the time when he must give up La Belle Isoda to his uncle. He knew now that he loved none other woman in the world but her, and never would so long as he should live. Bragwaine, the maid, seeing the pensive looks of her mistress, and knowing the wretchedness of her heart, determined to give her mistress what she most desired. By the aid of Gouvernail, the squire of Sir Tristram, they poured the philtre into the wine of Isoda and Sir Tristram as they were about to sit at dinner. They thought that the philtre being so potent, it would cause Sir Tristram to do as King Anguish wished he would do, and take La Belle Isoda into his own home at Lyons and wed her himself. Sir Tristram and La Belle Isoda sat at dinner and drank the wine. In a little while, Sir Tristram looked at the wine that was in his silver cup and smelled at it. "Sure, this is the best wine that ever I drank," said he, and smiled at her. "It is truly a most sweet and noble drink," said Isoda, and her heart was glad to see him smile, who hitherto had kept his face so stern. Sir Tristram called his squire. "Gouvernail," he said, What wine is this thou hast given us this day? Let us have another flask of the same. Gouvernail was ever ill at deception, and began to stammer. My lord, he said, I fear there is none other. Ah, said his master, and where got you that? The gentlewoman of my lady Isoda, said he, brought it and bade me mix it into your lordship's wine. What? Cried Sir Tristram, rising angrily. What means this? What trickery is this? Oh, my lord, forgive me, cried Gouvernail, but we saw the sorrow of both your hearts, and we gave you the philtre that was meant for my lady and King Mark. And, my lord, you will break my lady's heart and your own, if ye suffer this. But Sir Tristram would hear no further, and fiercely sent his squire from his presence. Oh, my lord, said La Belle Isoda, have those two poor souls done more evil than we are doing by hiding our hearts from each other? I would have you know that no ease shall you have all the days of your life, for I know that you love me, and as to that, there is no living man in all this world that I love as I love you. If ye think it unmaidenly in me to say that, then my own wretched heart forgives me. The gentle sorrow in her voice caused Sir Tristram's heart to swell with rage because he had promised to take her to wed King Mark. Lady, he said, and his face was full pitiful and pale, heaven knows that ye say right, and that never more shall I have ease after this. But no more should I have ease, but rather more shame and remorse, if I should do what my heart bids me do. I gave my promise to mine uncle, madman that I was, and I must perform it and suffer. But I could slay myself to think that you will suffer also. She saw the rage and sorrow in his eyes, and her heart was full of pity. Do thyself no harm, O noble knight and friend, said Isoda, for thou art right, and I am wrong. But I would have you promise to be my knight and champion in things both ill and good, while you shall have life. Lady, he replied, I will be all the days of my life your knight, in weal and in woe, to come to your aid and battle for your dear name when you shall send for me. Sir Tristram gave her a ring, and she gave him another, and quickly they parted, lest they should repent them of their duty. That evening they got to shore and landed at the foot of Tintagel, and Sir Tristram led up La Belle Isoda and gave her into the hands of King Mark, whose looks, for all that he tried to appear satisfied, were sour as he dwelt on the noble figure of Sir Tristram. Men noticed how pale and stern the young knight seemed, and that he said few words. In a little while after the wedding of his uncle to La Belle Isoda, Sir Tristram said farewell to all the court, for, said he would go fight the pagans who were ravening in the north, and so departed with Gouvernail his squire. After seeing the pale queen seated in hall beside King Mark, and remembering the heaviness of Sir Tristram, some guessed how full of woe their parting. But for love and sorrow of Sir Tristram, they said not of what they thought. Well, thank you for listening, and we'll go on with the deeds of Sir Geraint in the next video. Please like, subscribe, and leave a comment below. Thanks for watching. I love you guys. As Tigger says, ta-ta for now.